Hello and welcome to the Wednesday show, which has actually now been done in a Thursday afternoon for this week only. So there was a little bit of I wouldn't say mishap, but I had a bit of a situation that was sprung on me at the last minute yesterday, which was the reason for us having to postpone the show. But we do like consistency, and we've been able to figure out a time to do it that suits both Chris and I. So here we are, back for a normal weekly Q&A. So if you have any questions, make sure you do put them in the chat. Questions about anything at all relating to SEO, we're more than happy to answer. Quickly, before I talk to Chris, if you are interested in age domains, affiliate websites or whatever, do check out the sponsor up there, ODYS Global. There is a link in the description who are giving you $100 if you sign up to spend on expired domains or age domains or whatever you want to put it towards. But other than that, Chris, any news this week? What is new with you?
I've been playing around with, I went and I got GMB, and what I've been playing with is I noticed within some of the, primarily a travel club owner, and I noticed that they were getting a lot of basically people looking at the reviews, looking at the photos, right? And I noticed that Google would send us a message and it would say, hey, this particular review or your reviews are really popular. And after I noticed that we were getting the emails, I noticed that there was an increase in the insights. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this, like a correlation? I'm like, looking, I'm like, they're saying that we're super popular and they're sending us an email saying that we got this many views. I go over and I'm noticing like 2 days later, like there's a spike, an influx. So what I did is I set up my own little, GMB. I started running the traffic to it up to that number, 500 gets it or 1,000 gets it. And I'm like, hey, let's see what happens, So they send me the email and I noticed like, boom, I got all this traffic and these impressions. I'm like, so that's the first tip. We'll fire it up with that. If you can get a lot of traffic relatively quickly within a month's time, 500 or 1,000 is the number. They give you a bump. I don't know if it's temporary. I don't know. I'm really playing with it to see, but that's something that I've been looking at. I'm just curious about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
Interesting stuff.
I'm playing with a lot of Kali, on the side. I'm just learning some new different programs. I'm just really trying to learn Kali a little bit better. I don't know. They have a lot of these little oddball programs that you can use. And I'm just playing with the scanners and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I'm just trying to learn it a little bit better because I think I want to make something regarding that. So in any case, that's about it for me.
I love your choice of wording those oddball little programs that you can use. I used to have a little, it wasn't a laptop. It was one of those kind of notepad things that used to have Kali on it. And we used to play around with that. But I never ever really got that in depth with it. There's so much stuff you can do on there. It's insane. Yeah. But I think you need to be better skilled than I am to be able to do it all because, that it's just not my area of expertise. But someone like you who has better technical skills can probably do a lot of other weird and wonderful things with it. So be interested to see what videos you pop out off the back of playing around with that and, unraveling some of the stuff that's on there. But it's always mind-blowing. But yeah, I had it, played around with it, understood it to a certain degree, but I'll never be able to use it to its full advantage because I'm too lazy, and two, I'm just not that technically gifted. Some of the stuff I don't understand, and you're just like, fuck. But yeah, it was fun at the time.
As an SEO guy, I mean, really for me, what I'm learning is really SEO derived. I mean, it's like, okay, how can this help me, and how can I make money from this? It really is really at the end of the day.
Yeah. It is. Anyway, we've got afternoon, folks. How's things? We're all good here. Chris is just doing a little live before he sets out with his family for the day.
Yep.
I'm all good as well. I'm still in lockdown, but hey ho. We've got Ken. Yes, we've changed the time today for today only, Ken. We will be back every other Wednesday at the usual time. We try and remain consistent. My fault yesterday, had something come up, and I will tell you about it in the future, but I don't want to talk about it live just now because it's nothing bad. So I don't want to talk about it right now. But yeah, Ken, you should go to Chiang Mai. There's some great SEO guys out there. Great small community of nomads out there. Elton Musa, good to see you here, man. So we have a question, and we've also got a Facebook user who can't watch right now, but he will watch later on. A lot of our users do catch up later on, but if you are sitting there lurking and you do have a question, make sure you do put it in the live chat, guys, because we need you to make this show good. So first question is from Greece or Grace Anja. Hopefully I pronounced that somewhere close to being right. Which is the best way to rank a video on YouTube? I'll let Chris answer this one because he seems to be smashing me out the park now. I've actually stopped fighting for a little while there because I was kind of busy, but I'm going to come back with a vengeance. But Chris has been smashing videos out the park, all day long, and it was for a while just me and him running for a lot of the same keywords. So Chris, what are you prepared to give away? What are you doing on there?
What I found too is it when I find out, I'll let you know. But I'll tell you this: there's no magic tricks, and obviously, like, you see what I'm doing. Like, I'm just an SEO guy, But I'll give you one takeaway of something that I've learned. Whatever your niche, you want to stick with it. But more specifically, the particular keywords that you really want, you need to target them over and over and over. So that way you're the go-to. Let's take, for instance, whatever it is, right? When you're making videos and when you're tagging your videos, that's the keyword that you need to be targeting. You need to make a playlist. You need to make all of your videos are targeting that keyword. You need to have 10 or 20 videos regarding that. Let's say Black Hat SEO. Go to Black Hat SEO. Go see how many I've made. I wanted to rank for that. So I started cracking them. Boom, 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 boom. 20 of them, right? There's 20 of them sitting there. So that has been the main thing that I would, I know that that's probably the secret sauce. I shouldn't say that, but who cares? I just want to be able to help. So target the same thing over and over again. And eventually, under the good graces of Mr. YouTube himself, maybe he'll bless you with some rankings.
What I would say on top of that, obviously what Chris is saying is consistency, bashing out, a wide range of stuff. But also remember that you can't keep regurgitating. You've got to do it with a twist, and it's like link building or whatever you want to. Sorry, not link building, but building supporting content for landing pages. You want to build content around that subject. So Chris will do Black Hat, then he'll do, Black Hat link building or Black Hat this, that, the next thing. And as he says, go have a look at page 1 on YouTube. He's still not beat my Black Hat video, but hey, but he has got pretty much probably 5 or 6 different places out of page 1. Now, one other little thing that I feel is really important is obviously the engagement that a video gets, and get people to do it. That's where Chris obviously delivers a lot of good quality content, not blowing smoke up his backside, but he gives actionable tips. People watch it. That is also why his videos are being viewed. If you're going to just chuck out some garbage saying, Black Hat SEO might make you a lot of money, but we're not going to tell you how.
Right.
People are not going to be engaged. They're not going to like it. So you need to get that balance right as well. But hopefully that helps you. Ashish Rattan. Hello, Chris. TLDs matter for 301 redirects. Will a .de work the same as a .com?
I don't think that that's really, it's non-relevant. I mean, it's irrelevant which you're going to use. I think they're going to work the same. I think at the end of the day, it needs to be whatever's best for you. What's easiest to get, which one's the best, for you. But as far as utilizing it for a 301, it really doesn't matter. But if I had to choose, I'd probably go with the .com. But I really don't think it matters.
I think for now, a lot of people get this misconception: a link is a link. And even if you're doing a 301 redirect to get an expired domains link juice, it's still the same thing. A link is a link. And, if it's kind of relevant, if it's another SEO website in Denmark, the Netherlands, and you're forwarding it on to your website and you're trying to target the US, will that do any damage? Absolutely not. Totally relevant. Pass some power and juice. And I think it's a good, healthy thing to do. But as Chris says, if I was targeting America or the .com niche, I would make sure that I had more .coms than I did .des. If you were going to do that on a much bigger scale. But that will certainly not harm you at all. I think having stuff across the board, whether it's Sweden, France, UK, whatever, is also a nice mix to have, and grab some of that power. So yeah, I'm with Chris, but just I wanted to add that part on.
And I'm sorry to interject briefly. So I had a viewer, and the long story short of it is this: they had a consultation from a high-profile individual, and they said, quote, that 301 redirects are an old-school tactic that no longer have any benefit at all, and it needs to be completely overlooked. Craig, how do you feel about a statement such as this? What's your outlook on this? I'm just curious. Let's just put this to bed.
So what you're saying here, just to clarify in my own head, is some well-known SEO has said a statement of something that works that no longer works, in your opinion. Is that right?
Well, I say it works. I say that it is,
and they're saying it doesn't work.
That's correct.
Now, what would I say to that? What I'd say to that is, who is that SEO? Does he do his own work? And what I would say, regardless of whether Chris Palmer tells you something, Matthew Woodward, or any other guy that you look up to in terms of knowledge, because Chris Palmer says it doesn't mean it's real. Test it for yourself. Now, people blanket say things because they hear things and say, oh no, that can't work anymore. I've been guilty of it. Yeah, I've dismissed certain things that I thought could never work, and they have worked. When you actually go down and test it, you're like, that can't work. I would have hedged my life on that not working. So unless you categorically can show proof that it doesn't work, I think as an SEO expert, you should keep that zipped. And provide backup to what you say. So what I'd be looking at for anyone in the middle that's, got Chris Palmer saying one thing that works and another guy saying it doesn't. Chris Palmer normally shows an example, and I think hopefully I'm like that as well. If I think CTR, for example, works really well, then I'm going to show you how it works really well. I'm going to show you beat Chris and me and Chris fighting with each other and all of that kind of stuff. It's all done with good humour, but we're demonstrating that shit actually works. Now, if someone wants to argue that it doesn't work, come and argue, but come and beat at it. So, that everyone's entitled to an opinion. And I think, I don't know who the person was that said this, and I'm not dismissing any SEO speakers because I love a lot of the SEO speakers out there, but there are an element of them who will just blanket dismiss stuff because it didn't work. Now, what I also find is things that maybe worked in the past that then no longer worked sometimes start working again.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Things. So it comes the full circle, and unless you try and test that shit, you will never know what is working now. And what we need to do as SEOs is do what is working for now. So that's all I've really got to say on that matter. That's how I do it. I don't want to slander another guy because that guy...
Well, that's why I didn't say his name.
I didn't realise it. I didn't realise that worked. I tried that 2 years ago and it didn't work. We've all been guilty of that. We tried stuff 2 years ago and then say, I'm not wasting any more time trying that. But that is why I love the kind of community that I surround myself with. There's guys arguing over everything. This works, that works. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Yeah, blah 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 blah. And it's just helpful for everyone to be, watching that type of thing. And it's why, Chris, you do very well with your videos, because you're showing a lot of people stuff that actually works for you. Someone could say to you, Chris, volume doesn't work with video. You're talking crap. You're full of shit. There's no way that could work. Go Google it. Go to YouTube and check. The results are there. So you can't argue with it. It's impossible to argue with it. So yeah, enough ranting.
So was that a yes or no, Craig?
So I'm on. I would agree with Team Chris on that instance. If you believe it works, I believe that you do testing. And as I say, I don't know who the other guy is, and there's always two sides to every story. But I believe in the guys that are doing the actual testing. The guys that I know are likely to bugger off this webinar and do some work and do some tests. That's the kind of guys I want to listen to. And yeah, I would be. Yeah. That's what I can really say on that. So I don't give too much credit to how it is, guys.
Yeah, but and I'll say this too, and I tried to mention this. If you're going out to buy a domain and it has zero traffic coming to it, the chances of it actually passing any type of power are about slim to none. So I try to make sure that there's at least some pages still indexed, even if they're ghost indexed, the site's gone, but it's still getting some type of traffic. Then when you do it, could be a juicy little benefit. I actually did this and I showed it, just like you said, for conyersblog.us. It was a congressman. And I 301 redirect that sucker right into Chris Palmer marketing, and boom, the traffic, authority, all the crap, overnight, 50,000 links, USA Today, and all these crazy nonsense. But it was a lot of fun. And I just like to do stuff for fun, to be honest with you, Craig. Hey, let's see what happens. You never think stuff is going to last as long as it does. No. I was like, I'm going to get rid of this domain anyway. And then, you're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then the next thing you're like, oh man, I better keep this site.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
To the next stuff. Ben, hope you're feeling better now, buddy. Last week, I got a good ranking. This week, weak ranking. Could it be my old sites have benefited of the mobile first problem of last week? My old sites are not mobile first. What's your view on that, Chris?
Well, and two, you might be leaving out a couple of pieces here. There's something, in my opinion, that's called transitional rank. If you're applying any type of factor to your site, you're going to see, hey, I'm doing good today, I'm doing bad tomorrow, up and down, up and down. Now, if this is prominent for 2 weeks or a month, it's just a slight downcrease, then I start to worry. But day to day, don't worry about it. Just sit back and wait. Don't touch anything. Just rest. Just wait. Then you'll know if there's actually a problem. But sounds to me transitional rank. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we're all reading the stuff that Google are saying about indexing and stuff that might happen next year, and they're slowing down or stopping indexing stuff at the moment, and all this kind of garbage. I've seen a load of tweets about it. Yeah. Try and not take that and then associate it with what's going on with your own website just now. Right. See how things pan out. Things might just be up and down naturally. Sometimes my keywords dip, and Google are doing whatever they are doing in the background. But what I would say to future-proof your business, mobile first indexing is not something that's new. It's been out for, I can't even remember when it was rolled out, but it's been out for a bit of time now. If your old websites are not mobile first at the moment, you probably want to make sure that they are, mobile friendly and all of that kind of stuff. And that's just to future-proof your business. I think it's crazy not to have that. So definitely do address that. But, rankings do go up and down as a natural thing anyway. But I wouldn't be associating it with that just yet. Because from what I can gather, and I'll tell you why I never really force index anything, and everyone's kicking off just now saying, "Oh, Google's not going to be indexing for the next couple of weeks." Blah 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 blah. When I do a blog post or a podcast or a video or whatever it's going to be, the first thing I do is not submit it to an indexer. I just go to my social media, share it on there. Hey guys, I'm doing this, that, and the next thing. Boom, and then someone will phone me. I'll talk crap to them. Then I'll do another video. Blah 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 blah. I don't index nothing. It just happens that you don't need to push that. Like people are saying, "Oh, I need to get this indexed. It has to be indexed, within the hour or whatever." Forget it, man. Just go with the flow. Relax, man. And I think everyone's kicking off with this whole indexing thing just now. And I'll be honest with you, I have never, ever, ever. Well, I have, but naturally for my own website, never submitted it to an index until if I wanted to steal someone's content as a test and get it indexed before them, then yes, I have done that. However, in terms of releasing content and stuff like that, indexing is the least of my problems. I'm just going with the flow, man. So hopefully that helps. Chris, you're laughing there. What are you laughing at?
Is Craig giving us game right now? I mean, that's like one of those, back in the day, I'd be like, oh, copy this down. Okay, if I find a staging website and I could get the content and hurry up and index it, hey, that's my content now. So that's a little note for you quick. Looking for staging properties. If you're into that, not that I would be. I mean, I would never do something like that.
You only done it for a test, right?
Of course. Tests are just, yep, that's right. It's always a test. Just to see. Does this work?
Actually, Charles Float mentioned on the podcast yesterday.
I like that guy.
He's a good guy, great guy. He gets a lot of shit from a lot of people, but but he was talking about there was this. He had this tool that can analyzes your content and shit like that, and it wasn't working for some reason on this competitor's website. So he was checking out, and he unraveled it. And what he's seen, this guy was ranking in page 1, and basically he was taking screenshots of other people's text and just loading onto his website, which works very well because Google can read that shit. Apparently, Google claim not to be able to read an image. Go try that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying anything more about it, but that's just another little gem there. So go try that shit.
Ooh, we're juicing up today here. That's like four gems in a row here. Wow, 20 minutes in, we're dropping bombs today. This is fun. We're having a good time here today.
Rafael Santos, the man with this. I love that name. I don't know why. It just sounds like a fucking Brazilian footballer name. It really does, man. And I'm a big fan of football and Brazil and all that stuff. So I love that name. And good to see you. What is the drop catcher that you would recommend? So let me give you a couple first. In Europe, there's a chap called Callan. If you go to what the hell's this? Wait a minute, just Google it. SEO.tools, I think, is the domain. No, it's not SEO.tools. SEO.domains is his ranking. His name is Callan, Bulgarian dude. He is probably the biggest drop catcher in the kind of European space, and he emails people lists. You've also got Matt Tricott based in the UK. Check him out on Facebook. These are the two guys. There's also Robert Nichikal from Poland. He's also a drop catcher, but I don't think he does it publicly. I think he just does it for himself, but you can give him a shout. Those are the three guys, along with the sponsor, odys.global. They have amazing domains. And I'm not just saying that. The guy, Alex from ODYS Global, is, he's a guy that previously used to build hundreds of PBNs. He's a drop catcher. He gets all the good shit and it goes on that marketplace. And you can actually get a free £100 bonus if you sign up using the link below. So check them out as well. But, just check out a few drop catchers because they've all got different inventory. Chris, what about you? What do you do, or are you not sharing that?
I'll say this. The gentleman that I found that was helping me out, he sells a lot of domains through Black Hat World. So I was just going through him. But recently, I even asked Craig, I said, hey, which one of these tools here to look for expireds, which is really what I'm doing. Cause I want to try out, after talking with Craig, like I want to try setting up my own little network, but have it monetized. I really like this concept. I want to play with it, but as far as that, I was just going to him, but it was like $100 or $200 a piece. But you get whatever you want. So, yeah, I mean, that's
what I would say, just in the mindset. So obviously, Chris is saying it's $100 or $200 a piece. Now, let me put this into perspective for you guys. No one wants to pay $100 or $200 for a bloody expired domain. However, is it worth paying that?
That's right.
You're simply not going to fight these guys because they've got software, they've got tools, they've got a process where they're going to get the good stuff. Now, if you want to get the good stuff and just sit back and quite happy to pay them the money, that is your best option. You're not going to compete. All you will get if you sit looking at expired domains is a shit that no one else wants. Even these drop catchers, they don't even want them. They won't even take a gamble on them. That is the level of garbage you're getting. So unless you know a guy, go to a drop catcher or you have to set up yourself, then you're always going to be down at that bottom of that pile. just so you know. So you need to get your head around, do I pay this guy $200 for something I know he only paid £10 for? You're just going to have to suck it up. It's a business model. So get your head around it. And that's it. I just want to get that point across. There's no cheating way around it. Chris is saying, oh, man, I don't want to pay that. I don't want to pay it. But the guys have beaten us to the punch. Yeah. So
I will say that, as you said, though, the garbage, I went out and I got that Spamzilla as you recommended, and I'm going through it, and really garbage is definitely, that's actually being kind of nice as I'm going through, and I'm like, man, yeah, the metrics look good, but this site, it really is. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Be very careful what you're buying. There's a lot of trickery and fuckery and stuff going on out there, and stuff isn't
Conyers blog. I paid $100 for that off the guy from Blackout World. I paid for that one because it had all those links, and I was going after he also had a little panel too, but I just couldn't get into it. But in any case,
how many likes did Congress World have?
Referring domains was 2,800.
Right, 2,800, right? So 2,000. How much, if you were going to your cheapest niche edit or PR guy or fucking PBN guy, how much would it cost you for that amount of links?
10 a pop, 10 a piece. Yeah.
So exactly. 20 grand.
Yeah, at least.
So you get 20 grand worth of backlink just for $100, $200. That's the way to look at it. So that's the way I've got to look at it. It's the only way I can make peace with myself and cough up the money for it. So just a tip for you guys, if you're like me, who's just miserable as hell. David Holgate, hi guys. I'm trying to put a VA team together to do the grunt work so I can concentrate more in marketing. Have you ever put a SOP together for VAs? And what is the best system or software for a SOP? So SOPs are essential. You have to do that if you want people to do what you want at scale. Now, there is no specialist software as such. You can just make a bunch of videos and say, right, here's my content writing SOP. Here is my link building or outreach SOP. And a lot of guys that I know who are at the top of the game, they're not using any special software. Now, I always thought that they would have been simple videos or, a nice document, telling these people what to do, because VAs are not, not always going to be the brains of Britain, but they can follow a process or a system. And I think you have to create those good SOPs so that if that VA lets you down, you can throw them in the bin and get someone else to start tomorrow to start following that process again. So SOPs are vital. I personally think that over the shoulder training videos, or similar to what Chris does, right? So here's an example, David. Chris Palmer does all these videos and he's showing you how to do stuff, what he's clicking on, all that stuff. That's an SOP essentially. Here is how you do this. Here is what, obviously, you need to do it in a lot more detail because Chris is doing it. He doesn't want to give all his secrets away. He's giving you a rough idea of how this works or that works. But be as detailed as you possibly can, and
that's key.
put a video and keep it simple. Simplify it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just here's a video. Here is how you write your content, guys. Go and do your keyword research. Go and write a piece of content. Well, sorry, run it through POP first, the keyword through POP, so you can get an idea of, the amount of words you want on there and blah, 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 blah. Here's how I want you to place internal links. Here is where I want you to place internal links to, blah, 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 blah. Run it through Grammarly, boom, put it on website, save it as a draft, and, and then you can start reading it and publishing it as you see fit. If they are good, you can even then tell them to publish them and add that to your process as well. You want a blog out every day or whatever, you get the picture. So that's how I think it works. Chris, what is your opinion on it?
Ones that I've done in the past, and I'm currently doing almost the same exact thing, because I'm trying to branch off from the gentleman where I've been getting work lately. And what I've done, I even made a quick video on it not too long ago, but I just have it's called a Gantt chart or a Gantt chart. And there's like these little bubbles, the amount of time that it takes, and it's right in order. And then inside the Gantt chart, what I did is I created a video because I'm doing the same thing that this gentleman's doing. So I just made the itemized process, but I didn't skip any steps. And I just went right down. And then I put there's a little video. You can click on it. It opens up. I'm not sure the exact thing, but I made a video of the Gantt chart. That's how I do it. So, and I do the same thing. Say somebody were to consult with me and they want an itemized list. I do it. It's the same thing. I do the exact same thing. I go right down the list. I just make the little bubble. Hey, it should take you this much time, this much time, this much time, this much time. I had a great idea from somebody doing a DIY SEO. Like, most people, they're like, oh, $2,500 a month. No, but hey, I do have this as well for $500. I'll give you an itemized list of SOP of what you should do, and you can go do it yourself. And I thought that was brilliant. So that's where I want to be. But that's what I do. So, but I'm not I'm horrible with keeping things in order. Like, I'm bad. So don't take advice from me for that, actually.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, you get the picture, David. So hopefully you can do that. Also, maybe reach out to Mad Singers. He's a great guy who can help you with VAs. He's based out in the Philippines and can help you. He can hire them for you. He does the interviewing process for you. And whip them into shape. What was that? Sorry, Chris.
I'm sorry. I get these thoughts and I'm like, hey, but what's the, what rate are you looking at? I was looking at $2 an hour. Do you think that that's more than fair, or do you think that that's being too cheap?
That's too cheap. So for me, you will get a good VA out of, the Philippines or South Africa, whatever, probably for around $300 or $400 a month. Now that's the kind of going rate. It's normally a monthly salary they get, not per hour. If you want someone with a little bit more skill, it might, you might want to pay £500 or £600 or dollars. But normally these guys are always looking for a monthly retainer. If you're going to do the per hour thing, I find that the price goes higher.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So, $2 is just outrageous.
That's where I was. I was like, I was just going down the list. $2 an hour? No? Okay, next. So that's what I was getting though. Like, hey, come on, man. It seems like they want 4 to 5.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what your take was on that. Was I being a cheapskate, which I am? I'm sorry, I am. But
you get what you pay for. If you pay the $2 an hour, you're just going to get a whole bunch of shit and a whole bunch of problems. I think upping that to 3, 4, 5 is probably more in line with what would result these guys sticking for a bit longer.
Okay.
So that's just my take on it. But anyway, Elton Musa, when you guys were trying to outrank each other for CTR manipulation, Craig sent emails with a link to his CTR post on his website. Does clicking on that link count as traffic and help rankings? Of course it does, Elton. Of course it does. So if I send that out to thousands of people and Google see that thousands of different IP addresses, are clicking and looking at that particular post, go on and read the video or watch the video and whatever else is on that post, then of course that counts as linked traffic and of course it will help rankings because it's a whole bunch of real people. I'm not sending that out to, you know, a bot or something like that. So Google can only take from that I've done an email. I'm not hiding the fact that I've done an email and it's got traction. People have read it. People have looked at it. People have scrolled around on it, clicked on stuff, whatever. And yeah, that all goes with, you know, some way to helping. You've also got things like push notifications as well, Elton. And there's a reason why push notifications are a service in this industry, not just to showcase your new blog, but you can use them to push people back to stuff that's there, trying to improve all that kind of click-through rate, remind people of what's on there and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a whole lot of other wee things you can do, but yeah, certainly counts as traffic. Chris, would you agree with that?
I agree 1,000%. And as a brief little tidbit or a tip, I guess, Google reads all the emails. For instance, as a little test that you can run, I did this on my channel. Get your GSA blast of the crappiest links, you know, check the indexing rate, take all the ones that didn't index, put it in an email and mail it out, and then go and check the indexing rate. And bada bing, bada boom. They read those emails. It's very helpful. Check it out. You'll see.
Yeah, that worked well for me as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. And can you also maybe share the other stuff? So Elton, if you go back to the video that I spoke about on CTR where I seen Chris that was overtaking me, and then I said, well, I went away, I done Facebook ads, I done a bit of micro workers, I sent it out to my mailing list, I tweaked some of the content. That was it. There is no special trick. It is exactly what I'd done was exactly in that video. I'd done nothing else, nothing more. And did I have to do anything more? No. Why didn't I have to build links? Why didn't I have to do anything? Because we're competing for a term that none of us are building links to. We're trying to get the better of each other over CTR manipulation. And could I have went other steps? Could have ran it through POP and further optimize the content? Could have done, you know, link building? Could have done, you know, various other bits and bobs? Yes, 100%. But do I need to build links to it to beat Chris? No, just more traffic. And that was the purpose of the video, was to demonstrate that it's a nothing keyword. You know, it's not the best keyword in the world, but we are fighting for it. And Ryan Houghton's obviously joined in the mix. He's just not done his CTR well enough to beat us. But yeah, it's as simple as what I've said on the video. And there is no, don't think that there's some special trick that I'm doing or Chris is doing out with that. Chris knows what I'm doing. You know, I've told him what I'm doing. He doesn't know what numbers I do. And it's up to him to fight me on it and do that little bit more than me, and he'll win the battle. It's as simple as that. So hopefully that helps you, Elton. But Chris, you're not doing anything else secretive, are you? Just to check.
I mean, the closest relation to that keyword was CTR SEO. So I based the traffic, the keyword traffic, based off of that keyword was really what I was looking at when I was sending in the traffic. But aside from that, no, I was just doing brand plus keyword searches off of the keywords that were ranking for CTR SEO. I did that with a bot, Supreme Traffic Bot. I shared that. And then I placed a link on Wikipedia. It was there for 48 days. And I was sending the authority traffic through there. And that's how I initially got that jump. But other than that, I haven't been really messing with it.
Nah,
not lately.
I'm not that fussed. If Chris gets it or I get it, it was more for demonstration purposes and a bit of fun, to be honest. But it's that stuff that you have to do to get the edge over the competition, and it clearly was demonstrated. But I'm still above him, so
for which one? CTR manipulation or click-through rate manipulation?
CTR manipulation.
Yeah. You're optimized for CTR manipulation. Title tag H1.
Yeah, I didn't bother going for.
You extended your content too, which I really liked. You know, more content. You re-optimized too. I noticed that. And the volume of traffic, I saw that spike, but then it lowered back down. So you were working on it there for a second, and then it, you know, obviously things
just for that video.
Life goes on, yeah.
And if you missed that, Elton, I also cheekily added in Chris's affiliate link. So I also screwed him out of some money, which was also good as part of that battle. So he also made money from it. So it was win-win. It was all fun.
Yeah.
So everyone was a winner. But anyway, Glenart 101. We are a travel agency in one city in Detroit, my area. If we put up 10 GMB sites over a several country area around Detroit or other large cities in Michigan, would this bring in a good traffic bump? Yeah. Chris?
I would 1,000% say yes. But I would be, the spacing of each of those GMBs, those verified listings, the spacing of those maps listings, I would make sure was, at least 10 miles apart. Aside from that, as one gets verified, unless you are literally a conglomerate and you can put it in as a multi-level, multi-location business, I would keep it one GMB, one site for each of those locations. And then on those pages, I'd be targeting different variations of the main keyword for your main business. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. No, perfectly agree with that. Do it. There's a lot of traffic to be had there, so just do it with a non-spammy approach, as Chris says. Ken, most of the ranking pages in my home improvement site have dropped from 1 to 2 to 4 since around May this year. Should I send more traffic and links to ranking those pages to take it back to 1? Yes, links, traffic, maybe tweak your content. Obviously, we can't see exactly, what your website is, but obviously there was that May update, which shook things around a little bit. And if it shook you off at the top position, then, if you're on average between position 2 to 4, that's the right time, in my opinion, to do CTR. Because what is the difference? Is it another 10 links? Look at the competition. It's probably not. The guy that's got position 1 because of that update has then organically been getting that traffic and that click-through rate, which has retained him in that position. And you need to do something to shake that off. What's your opinion on that, Chris?
You hit the nail on the head, and what I'd be looking at specifically is this. If he started beating you for a particular primary keyword, I would be looking and analyzing his page to see what other keywords is he ranking for. And then once you find that out, go and add those keywords to your page. That makes you more relevant. Then you should just see a bump from that. But then if you don't, then start applying, any type of traffic that you can. But by adding those words, generally, Google will start showing you, because you were the best answer at once. So you need those words on page, because those he's ranking for them, but those words aren't on his page. Put them on yours. I bet you'll get a bump.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, Chris, that a lot of people don't do. So we all optimize and we get a page ranking for 2 or 3 keywords.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make that 100 keywords? Can you make it 50? Of course you can.
Of course.
And analyzing the competition, using the likes of POP for, what I really like about POP is, it just shows you, it scrapes the top 10 search results and says, right, Craig, you're not using marketing, you're not using the word digital, you're not using, this or that or whatever other keywords that are going to make you look like the bigger picture, and it makes Google fully understand what you do by using all those keywords, but it also helps you rank for a wider range of keywords. So it's not about always adding new content. Add more to what you already have as well, and squeeze that page for every last bloody bit you can get out of it. Is something I think a lot of people don't always do. They obsess over more content, and that works for YouTube, but not necessarily always for Google. So yeah. Anyway, Facebook user, hi guys. Would you use links for you to send links to your money site or your PBN or both? I would send, their guest posts on links for you. So anyone who doesn't know, it's linksforyou.com. They basically sell guest posts. Now, everyone's got a different opinion. I personally don't have an issue sending a guest post to my money website, providing that they're going to be of a reasonable quality, which they are. But you can use them to power up other assets. For example, I got a link yesterday in Yahoo Finance, Now, obviously, it's a no-follow links, not passing juice, but it went out in some other PR articles like AP News, which is do follow. So I could look and go, right, what is the URL? You know, the URL of AP News, you know, that's got my article is not as powerful as its homepage, clearly. So I could use links for you to power up that article. I could use PBNs, I could use niche edits, I could use Web 2.0s, because AP News is a big website. It's not going to get hurt by, you know, a handful of links. So you can use them for a whole bunch of different purposes, but guest posts can be used in money sites as well. Chris, what do you think about using guest posts on money sites?
I like it. I've never used that particular provider, but I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I think that's the way they cloak PBNs. They're guest posts.
Yeah. They work, believe me.
Absolutely.
Kazi Farhan, hi Supermen. Sorry I missed a couple of sessions. If I have bought 2 domains which have the main keyword I'm targeting, I want to know, should I build microsites and backlink them to the money website? What would you do if you've got 2 domains, Chris? Are you doing a 301 or are you building a PBN? What's the option?
You have 2 sites targeting the same thing.
Yep.
I would keep the one that's already receiving traffic and obviously has the most indexed pages. And then the other one, I would probably just 301. You know, I don't see why not. That would probably be the best bet, Craig. Yeah. That's what I would
do what Chris says. Rafael Santos, no problem at all. Should I build separate backlinks for both those domains or just 301 them both? The problem you've got, Kazi, is this really depends on a multitude of different things. To answer that correctly, we would need to know more about those other 2 domains. Are they DR50s? You know, what could be done with them? You know, one might be a DR70, one might be a DR50. Would I be 301 in it, or would I be putting another website on there and building backlinks to it? All of that is plausible things that you could potentially do that can have a positive return, but it's more work, more everything else, and you need to, you know, we can't just say, if you know, if they're crappy domains, I wouldn't waste my time with them. I'd just throw them in the bin, to be honest with you. You know, if they've got no power to 301 redirect, and you know, I would rather have one big website than try and manage 2 or 3 mini websites. I think, you know, that's a much better approach, but it depends on what's on these other 2 domains in terms of metrics, backlink profiles, and everything else.
I love your terminology, Craig. I'll just throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
Just throw it in the bin. He's so funny.
Also, for content writing, content's a hard thing. Ryan Houghton, who sometimes comes in here, I believe has a content writing service. He's native English speaker and stuff like that.
He writes well. Yeah.
However, no one is going to share their real content writer because someone else will steal them. So I don't know of any good content writers where I can say, go here and use him, because if he was that good, I'd be using him. And I don't want anyone else using them. I want Chris to keep his greasy hands off my content writers. But it's hard to get good content writers. People don't normally share who these people are. You just got to do research. It's one of the hardest things to find as a good content writer in this industry, in all seriousness. And I don't know anyone off the top of my head that's freely available to do that for you. But there are good guys out there. Just have a route around. There'll be someone somewhere looking for work.
Yep.
Do you know of anyone, Chris?
Well, no, but I'll add a caveat. I'm doing within the affiliate marketing with the junk site just to see what we can do. I'm testing all of the content mills. I'm going to take like 20 content mills and get 5 articles from each of them. And then we're going to publish them and see and go over, and we're going to go over it. So I'm going to test 20 content mills and we're going to see together. So, you know, if you're interested and you have a lot of time, then I'm doing it for you.
Yeah. Do it on Chris's buck. Always better. Holly Starks, good to see you,
Hi,
Holly. Hope all is good. We need to get Holly on.
I want to get Holly on my channel.
Yeah. Holly, Chris wants you on his channel. We can introduce. Do you know Holly in person?
No, but I've been watching her since she came out with that blueprint. So How long has that been? You know, I was like, wait, video spin blaster? What? Oh, wow, cool. You know,
Holly is a legend of the game. I love what Holly does, the way she delivers her talks and everything else. But yeah, you should definitely try and get her on the show. Hook up with her on Facebook. She's very approachable. Always been nice to me anyway. So yeah, give it a shout. But Holly, yeah, Chris wants you on, sharing some bombs on there. You guys are probably should be friends anyway, because you are both crazy with the stuff that you do. With the greatest respect to you both, you are absolute bonkers in some of the stuff that you try. And yeah, two bonkers people blowing shit up could be a good mix. So do it, guys. Cool. Yaniv Gabe. Hey guys, for a multi-location local site with each location having a different NAP, do I need to create a schema for each location page to reflect its unique NAP, or is it just the schema just for the homepage?
Yes, you do. If schema's the glue, right? Each of those pages needs to have it. You know, disambiguation, associations with the services, also the authors. Yes. So the answer is yes. You need to do it for each of them. If you're going to be doing it right, you know, you could just, you know, plug in SEO Press and do whatever. But I would take the time to do it properly. Yes, I would.
Yeah, definitely do it properly, guys. Also, make sure you do give this video a like and the channel a subscribe if you're here. We have got 6 minutes left, so we will try and get through all of the questions that make sense. Alt Delta 1. Hey guys, tiered link buildings, newbie. Which would you recommend? Ranker X or Scrapebox? Why? Other programs? Thanks very much.
This is a common question. I'm gonna have to make a video series, man. I'm gonna have to.
What I'll add first is Scrapebox for me is a scraping tool. It used to be a link building tool. I would not use it at all to build links at the moment. Ranker X is a great tool. It's not my personal one that I use. I use something very similar, which is SEO Autopilot. Ranker X I've heard amazing stories about though, so you know that's a great tool. But Scrapebox is more of a scraper, so that's why I wouldn't use that. You do have the likes of Money Robot, GSA, and everything else. Now, be careful when you use any of these, because if they're in the wrong hands, they can be dangerous, and you need to understand what the tools do. For example, I'll use GSA because, you know, I'm not fussed either way with GSA, but GSA was a mass spamming tool that was out. Now, the real key to success on GSA was scraping up your own list, not sending the same crap that everyone else is sending because they're too lazy or they don't understand how the tool works. The key there is scraping your own list. Now, that list, it's not the tool or what it does that's important, it's where it's submitting your links to. And if you've got the ability to upload your own list, and or you know they've got unique properties on there or whatever their USP is, that is what you should be thinking about, because all the tools do the same thing. It's the ability to customize it to suit yourself is the key part in there. So yeah, so that's some tools there. Chris, have you anything to add to that?
XRummer and GSA would probably be the go-tos if I was gonna say any two. And then aside from that, exactly what Craig said, it's all about the list. You know, I know that you're a newbie. What I would do it now, what he said is right. You don't want the same stuff. But all those guys that are selling GSA blasts, they're giving you a list. If you give some guy $10 to do 1 million links, he's going to show you a proof file. Now you can import that and then set your own, you know, outbound links. What's the DA score? What's this? You can set your own, you know, metrics within GSA. So that's how I was able to gather up a bunch of lists. You know, you go out and you pay these guys to send it to, say, a tier 2 entity that you don't care about. They're giving you the proof file. Upload all those proof files. You got 5-6 million links, and then just start making your customizations. You might only end up with 50,000, but these are good spammy links, you know? So that's what I would be. That's what I would do. So GSA is the way to go, in my opinion. Just my opinion.
Well, listen, as I say, everyone uses different stuff. It's how you use it, not the tool itself.
X-Runner's good too.
Yeah, good tools there. Now, Indian man is asking, can you make a second AdSense account with the same address? Not sure about that. I'm not really an AdSense man.
2 AdSense accounts on the same domain. I've never seen this, but I've had multiple inside the same account, you know.
Can we make an AdSense account with the same Wi-Fi hotspot? Maybe that, from the same house. Yeah, you can. There's no reason why you can't. Why wouldn't you?
I don't see why.
Obviously, if you're going to make 200 from the same Wi-Fi spot and they're all about the same kind of similar thing, then you might get slammed. But 1 or 2, from the same Wi-Fi hotspot or the same office, essentially, is not going to be a problem as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, Rafael Santos, when will you organise a contest competition between all of your followers to rank for a keyword in first position in SERPs? We have that competition actually, and we're going after digital market in Las Vegas. Anyone is welcome to join, and whoever has the highest ranking within 60 days is going to be that person that's going to win and have those bragging rights. And Nick Lee is also going to give some free PR, to tell people, or tell the world how good that person is at SEO. So just a little bit of a competition. We're all going for it now.
Did you launch yet, Craig?
Yeah, I've put up a website, yeah. But I'll give you a clue what I'm doing. So I've got several guys, namely Jeff Lenny, who is like, Craig, you've not put up a website. Craig, why have you got no content? Craig, why are you doing this? I am doing things the reverse way. Do not expect me to have a fully fledged website with tons of pages just yet. The reason being is I'm not going to show you all my cards at one time, guys. Because if I put up a page and it's got this on it, you're going to replicate that. So do not try and follow what I'm doing, because what I've basically got on here is a whole big bunch of spam on my website, just to fuck with all your heads.
What are you going to do, make a directory? About that. Is that what you're doing, Craig?
I'm not seeing anything, man.
Top 10. I was thinking about doing the same thing. I saw that's what was winning.
People are looking.
That's funny.
And listen, you're going to think I'm not doing much, and then it's going to be bang. Once these links kick in, some of the other stuff kicks in, you're going to be like, shit. It's over a 60-day period, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I have zero budget for this, so I was just I want to try to rank a blank page. So I put up the homepage, but for that keyword, I want to do a blank page, regardless of whatever the rank is. I'm going to make first page with a blank page.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Someone's asking if I'm Irish. Not Irish. I'm Scottish, so very similar to the Irish accent, but hey ho. Here's someone, Chris Palmer. Do you mind showing us some of your credentials, some actual projects rolling some competitive SERPs? Thanks. And you've got to love it. I don't think you really want to share that stuff, are you, Chris?
Not necessarily.
You've got to take it. Like, no one is sharing their money websites in a great deal. But if it does help you, super, Cyan, I'm going to be doing a live case study with a couple of friends of mine, James Dooley and Gary Wilson. And we are going to launch a website that's going to be public, that people can see, they can look at, they can reverse engineer. We're going to show the mistakes we make and everything else, which we'll be launching in a few weeks. So we're doing that because it's a reason why we don't share shit. And that's because people are negative SEO and shit and all that kind of stuff. And you know what the world's like, man, I'm sure.
I'll say this, though. If you're looking for a travel club in Florida or a travel club anywhere, I can guarantee that it's us. So, if you want to search Travel Club Florida and you see those maps, boy, they look similar, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, anything that's travel club related is probably, once you look at Florida and you get a base understanding of what's there, then you'll see my work. other than that, I wouldn't share anything else.
Yeah. Also, Holly Starks is getting a bit of attention here from Guy Fawkes, Stephen Buchanan. We've also got a guy from Tokyo. Holly was also sharing some of the tools that Holly uses, and she's pretty much said Ranker X, Money Robot, GSA, blah 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 blah. Holly knows the game, and yeah, Holly's also worth following if you're into all of these crazy tools, because she has used them all. But the final question that we'll take, and then we need to let Chris go because he's gone out for the day with his family. But Holly is asking, what's your take on Google disabling their indexing function? Do you think it's a ploy or a bug they can't fix? What do you think, Chris?
I like the word ploy. I think that's an interesting word. So, but yeah, I do. And I do think it's a bug that they can't fix. But I also noticed that they're messing with the indexing API as well, which I thought was interesting. And the way, but in any case, yeah, I like the word ploy. Yes, I agree with you with that.
I think it's probably a definite ploy because, as we mentioned earlier in the show, like when I release something, I don't necessarily obsess over the whole indexing thing, and I just put my stuff out and it gets indexed naturally, blah, 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 blah. And, I bash a few tiered links to it and I do other bits and bobs, share it all over social media. And that's normally enough. But everyone obsesses over it. And I think it could potentially be a ploy to say to people, stop fucking submitting the shit out of your websites. We're clever enough to come and do it naturally or whatever. But there is also that potential for it to be a bug. I think Google, as smart as they are, have a lot of underlying issues. I think they just can't cope with everything that everyone's doing in the web. And that's just my opinion on it. But it's not something I obsess over. But I think it's more likely to be a ploy just to try and tell people to stop doing it or put them off doing it or whatever. Or who knows? Who knows with Google? Last one, Chris, and I want to answer this one. I know we said that about the last one. I keep seeing this question. What do you think is more important, CID or MRead?
All right. Machine readable entity ID is going to be something that you're going to put inside of your schema, right? It's association. Aside of that, the CID, that's something that we're going to send traffic through. That's something you're going to place to push traffic through. That's it.
Yeah. So. There you go. Hopefully that answers it. Indian Man did answer your question. We're not AdSense specialists, but you should be able to create more than one from the one Wi-Fi hotspot. Just be careful you don't spam it to death, because you're likely to wave a flag if you're going to be doing 1,000 or 100 or whatever it might be. But we did answer that question probably 4 or 5 minutes ago. But that is pretty much us out of time today, guys. Thank you for everyone who joined at such short notice. We will be back again next Wednesday at the usual time. Chris, Holly, hope you guys can do a show together as well. Think you would make an awesome show, and you guys would certainly get my attention. So look out for that, guys, on Chris's channel. Chris can be found at Chris Palmer SEO if you go to YouTube. Go over and give him a bit of love. Check his stuff out. He's doing a lot of good stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much us. We will be back next week, 5 o'clock UK time, 12 o'clock EST, and 9:30 in India next Wednesday for more question and answers. But thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. And thank you, Holly, and everyone else that's there, Stephen Buchanan and Ken City. And
everyone. Holly.
Yeah. But catch you guys soon. See you later.
See ya.